Joe Budden confirms Drake is getting paid off of other people's catalogs.
But do you think that Drake's deals are a point of contention for his peers?
I can't answer that question. It's not appropriate or my place. I have to definitely display good cultural etiquette. So
My wild theory was that Drake had to have some type of hand in Gamma, which is why he's promoting Ross albums and Sexy Red. And he must have some type of deal that's not even available to other people, to whereas he gets to be the owner and player, or player and whatever that other title is.
That's right. On a recent interview with Larry Jackson, the founder of Gamma, Joe Budden seems to have done the science. And though Larry Jackson was dodgy in the question, I think his lack of a response was a response. So what happened was Joe Budden had Larry Jackson on. He was a former bigwig at Apple Music and now has Gamma, some type of music company that aims to reframe the way music business is done. And in that interview, what Joe Budden asked would give me keen insight into why the rest of his peers hate him so much. He would directly ask Larry Jackson, hey, does Drake get paid off of other people's catalogs? Because it seems like that is what's causing the friction between him and all the people he's beefing with. And Larry Jackson said he could not comment. Now, anybody who's watching this knows that when somebody says they cannot comment, that means they may have something to hide. It's like pleading the fifth. Yes, you can plead the fifth in court, but it might very much reveal that you don't want to tell the truth. And if you look at the rest of the interview where Larry Jackson seemed to sing Drake's praises, then this kind of gives you insight into how much he values Aubrey.
So the thing that I'll say to you about the artist you just mentioned is that if you look at his music, he's bigger than the 70s, 80s, and 90s combined. I don't mean like one artist from that era. I mean all of those eras combined.
The man essentially said that Drake's catalog is bigger than the 60s, 70s, and 80s combined. Now, I know everybody hates Drake's guts now, but it's important to remember that his Apple exclusive may have changed fortunes for Larry Jackson.
Views from the Six is coming 4/29/2016. He announced it yesterday on OVO Radio on Beats One, essentially on Apple. Now, Apple has reached out to Pitchfork. Shout out to them. They reached out and said, yo, wait. Y'all thought we gave Jersey that $20 million for a radio show? Oh, you dumb, right? Y'all really dumb, right? No. We're giving him that $20 million reportedly. Actually, it was 19. But they gave him that money for the deal with Apple Music to release his next project, among others, on Apple Music exclusively.
And also, many say that Drake's catalog is the turnkey, is the way that a lot of people find other artists. And on top of this, Larry Jackson was very clear in demonstrating that, he holds Drake in high regard. He rocks with Drake on a deep level. So it's not so crazy to think that he would give Drake a sweetheart deal. Now, it's unclear if Larry Jackson gave Drake some type of ownership, but I think it looks like he gave him some type of incentive. As Joe Budden correctly pointed out, that Drake is out here promoting albums from Sexy Red, Rick Ross, and it can't be just because Drake's a great guy and loves everybody. No, he has to be getting money or some type of look as a result of the support that he's showing. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you feel like this non-answer from Larry Jackson is indeed revealing? Now, this interview that Joe Budden did with Larry Jackson, I think was pretty terrible, but there was still value to be had because Joe Budden asked a question. And like I always say, when someone chooses not to answer a question, the way they choose to avoid or duck a question, that gives you all the answers you need. As for the rest of this interview, some of it was interesting, but I do think it felt like a big old ad for Gamma. And there are a lot of people noting how Gamma is just probably a Trojan horse and may usher in a new predatory type of business under the guise of changing the music industry. Like, I would venture to say that some people are probably going to sign to Gamma and then realize that, oh, this deal really isn't all that. Now, as to why Joe Budden chose to interview Larry Jackson, knowing damn well that Larry Jackson wasn't going to answer any questions, something I've been pretty vocal about is that I believe that Joe thought, he could get some business from Larry Jackson. Like, I think he wants to sign some type of IP to Gamma, or he wants to bring Everyday Struggle back to Gamma. Something's going on. Joe didn't just interview this dude because he wanted to. He wanted to do it because it is advantageous for his business. I mean, this guy flew to California to see him. He went to California to sit down with Larry Jackson and to pocket watch that man, to stroke that ego. He went there to give him a verbal shoulder massage, look him deep in the eye, wear his best Gucci. He wears a lot on the podcast. I thought he would have worn a different type of suit for Larry, but hey, Gucci's Gucci. That costs like $3,000 for like a shirt. So there's a deeper, darker criminal link here. I do think that this as paywall content really didn't work, which is why I believe Joe released it immediately on YouTube. It really ain't hitting like that, but the greatest value is in the way that Larry Jackson refused to answer the question. All right, y'all, let me know what you think about what I said. Let me know what you think about Larry Jackson's thought on Drake. Do you feel like he is trumping up Drake so much because he has business tied to him? Or do you really think he is just a big Drake fan? Also, do you think that Drake's streaming deal really changed the industry for the better? Or do you feel like it changed it for the worse? Because seeing how much someone like Larry Jackson reveres Drake, you can kind of reverse engineer why he was so successful in the streaming era. People knew at the highest levels of the music industry that his catalog was a gateway to create other stars in music. And as a result, all of the big top execs saw value in putting him up there. Now, granted, Drake had to make really good music that the masses would love, not necessarily the hip-hop heads. Maybe the hip-hop heads hate Drake, but the women, some of the hip-hop heads, and the casuals from all over the world love Drake. And that was the type of music that would turnkey huge profits for the streaming era and revolutionize the way we listen to music. All right, y'all, that's my video for today. Please remember to subscribe to my Patreon. Please remember to follow me on Twitter. Please remember to follow me on Instagram. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, do all of that jazz. Oh, man, we're doing the science today. And please watch my other video where I talk about Joe Budden's suspect Patreon and how I don't really think it's that good. How I think it fell off, and I think it's like really terrible, and I think he needs to make sure the content's a little bit better. All right, y'all. This is Danny from The Stop. Have a wonderful day, folks. Peace.